Once upon a time, in a cozy, grassy meadow filled with tasty seeds and wriggly worms, there lived a family of pheasants. Mother Pheasant, with her soft brown feathers like autumn leaves, was warm and kind. Father Pheasant was strikingly handsome, with a crown of colorful feathers, bright red patches around his eyes, and a long, golden-brown tail that shimmered under the sun. One day, something unusual happened. Just before nesting season, a fierce wind swept through the meadow, shaking the trees and scattering leaves everywhere. The next morning, as Mother Pheasant tidied up her nest, she spotted an extra egg near the edge of the meadow, cold, alone, and a little bigger than her own. Though it looked different, her gentle heart couldn't leave it behind. "Oh, you poor little thing," she cooed, softly rolling the strange egg into her warm nest beside her own. Soon, on a bright and sunny morning, little taps and cracks filled the air as the eggs began to hatch. Out came Leo, Max, and Theo, tiny balls of fluffy brown and yellow down, chirping hungrily for breakfast. Mother and Father Pheasant beamed with pride. Then, the bigger, odd egg began to wobble. Tap, tap. Crack. A slightly larger, wobbly chick tumbled out. He looked somewhat like his brothers, only clumsier, and a bit awkward on his tiny feet. Mother Pheasant kissed him gently and said, "Let's call him Spot, for his patchy, uneven feathers." From the start, Leo, Max, and Theo dreamed of their bright futures. "I'll have the most colorful crown," boasted Leo. "And I'll grow the longest, shiniest tail," declared Max. "I'll have the brightest red around my eyes," chirped Theo. They all glanced at Spot, who was busy fumbling with a stubborn seed, not hearing a word. Leo whispered, "Look at Spot. He can't even peck properly." Max giggled, "He falls more than he flaps." Theo snickered, "Spot the drab and clumsy." This time, Spot heard them. His little head drooped. Why couldn't he be as quick and graceful as his brothers? Why were his feathers so dull and patchy? One afternoon, feeling more downhearted than ever, Spot watched his brothers show off their changing feathers. "Look, Spot. Real color." Leo chirped, proudly showing a darker feather atop his head. Max puffed out his chest. "Not like your boring fuzz." Theo wagged his tiny tail. "You'll never look like Dad." Tears welled up in Spot's eyes. Quietly, he wandered away, hiding behind a clump of blackberry bushes. There, a soft voice said, "Hi." Peeking through the leaves, Spot saw a little girl chick with soft brown feathers. "Hi," he mumbled. "My name's Penny," she said cheerfully. "Why are you so sad?" "It's my brothers," Spot mumbled. "They make fun of me because I'm ugly and clumsy. They're growing colorful, but I'm just brown and patchy." Penny tilted her head and smiled. "I'm going to stay brown," she said proudly. "Girl pheasants are always brown. It helps us hide and keep our babies safe. Brown is a great color." Spot stared at her in wonder. She was proud of her brown feathers. "But I'm a boy," Spot said. "Boys are supposed to get bright colors." Penny giggled. "Maybe your colors are just taking longer. Or maybe you're something special." She hopped closer, beaming. "Come on. Let's find the tastiest seeds together." For the first time in a long while, Spot felt a little better. Penny didn't mock him. She didn't care that he was different. They spent the afternoon exploring, munching seeds, and telling stories. Penny was a true friend. Weeks passed. Spot and Penny explored every inch of the meadow. Still, Spot couldn't help noticing how dazzling his brothers had become, with colorful crowns and shining, golden-brown tails. Spot grew too, but his feathers remained a dull brown-orange, without the brilliant hues he had hoped for. Sometimes his brothers still teased Spot, the plain one. It still stung, even though they were mostly busy admiring themselves. One day, Spot and Penny decided to venture farther than ever before. On the breeze, they heard strange sounds, kee-ow, kee-ow. Curious, they followed the noise to an old stone wall at the meadow's edge. The calls were louder now. Penny shivered. What is that? Spot's heart raced. They peeked through a crack in the wall. And gasped. Beyond the wall stretched a magical garden, full of the most magnificent birds they had ever seen. One bird had a neck as blue as the sky, a small crown atop its head, and a long tail sparkling with green and gold. Huge eye-like patterns decorated its tail. It fanned out its glorious feathers and cried, kee-ow. Other birds, brown and younger, milled around too, some looking oddly like Spot himself. Spot felt an overwhelming tug in his chest. Without thinking, he slipped through the crack. Penny followed. A graceful bird with creamy feathers and a slender neck approached them warmly. "Hello, little ones," she said kindly. She studied Spot closely. "Why don't you go join your brothers and sisters?" she asked, nodding towards the young brown birds. Spot hesitated. "But I'm a pheasant," he said uncertainly. "My brothers turned colorful. And I stayed brown." The graceful bird smiled gently. "Oh, sweetheart," she said, "you're not a pheasant. That's why your colors are different." Spot blinked in confusion. "I'm not a pheasant. Then what am I?" The elegant bird led him to a pond nearby. "Look," she said. Spot gazed into the water. His reflection showed the same patchy brown, but, wait, was that a shimmer of bright blue on his neck? "You're a young peacock," the bird said. "And peacocks take their time to grow their colors. But when they do..." She gestured to a dazzling adult peacock strutting proudly nearby. "It's worth every moment of waiting." Spot stared, wide-eyed, first at his reflection and then at the magnificent peacock. He wasn't ugly. He wasn't broken. He was simply different, and destined for something extraordinary. Spot grew up to become the most splendid peacock in the garden, with a magnificent tail bursting with blues, greens, and shimmering golds. Though he now had a new family among the peacocks, he never forgot Mother and Father Pheasant, or his kind friend Penny. He visited them often, sharing stories and seeds, and laughing together under the sun. Leo, Max, and Theo never teased him again. They had learned a valuable lesson: whether you're a pheasant, a peacock, or a plain little chick, being different is the most beautiful thing of all.